Episode 3. There is video today. 3. I've got Jenna, JQ, and me, Joe. And I'm not going to lie, I turned off the notifications, but I just heard my favorite sound. This is unscripted. Do you want to hear what I just heard? It's my favorite sound. I'm so serious.
What?
The sound of a LinkedIn message coming in.
No!
Yes, and I'm not going to look until after this call, but something's cooking up in there. Something's cooking. I'm going to look later.
Serious?
I'm going to look.
That's random. Okay, I love that. That actually tees us up really nicely. That's rad. That's cool.
It's really, truly one of my favorite sounds. So I'm not going to look. Today we are talking about overcoming imposter syndrome and how to shake off that self-doubts and how to really confidently present your value in prospecting, in sales, in business. This is great for any industry that you're in. So if you're listening, please share this with colleagues in any industry. And I'm going to start with JQ and get some thoughts and feelings around this subject.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Yeah. I love this. I love that we're talking about this because kind of our whole theme and how you and I bonded was the idea of prospecting. This imposter syndrome shows up in sales. So I made notes really like as salespeople, why we experience this and kind of how to get out of it. I also made notes about examples of how imposter syndrome does show up in sales. But when it comes to prospecting, it's so important that sales reps, no matter what you're selling, that you're able to really articulate the value that you bring to the table and that you have a firm grasp on what it is that you bring to the table. If we're too busy spending time here in our own way, it's just, you're never going to have that clarity. And so I think that overcoming the imposter syndrome is so hard. I'm going to share some strategies I have today, but just acknowledge it and just nurture it and just do your best to say, hey, I mean, Joe and I, you and I just said, do you suffer from this? I said, yes. I told you how I do, which I'll share with the group here. I'll talk about the overworking. I know that I do that, right? But everyone's a candidate for this. Every sales rep is a candidate for this. If you're going to prospect and grow your business, you need clarity on the value that you bring to the table. We're going to help you get out of your own way, or at least give you a pathway to kind of start the process, right? Yeah, fair enough.
Fair. And yes, I'll let you keep going, but just so everyone knows, before we hit record and we knew this would be the topic, again, we don't talk and script this out. I said, do you suffer from this? And quick yes from Jenna, quick yes from me. So I will let you share that story for everyone, Jenna.
All right. For me, it's overworking, I think. For me, I have to walk away at the end of my workday. I'll go to the gym, I'll come back and get some follow-up work done. And then I find myself like lingering and I'm like, what am I doing? I know that I'm overworking. I'm overworking because I want to make sure that I am doing everything I can to push myself forward, but maybe even prove my worth. That's where the problem lies. That's why I overwork. I don't want to do that. That's wrong. That's I'm in my own way. So, being vulnerable. Damn.
Vulnerability. This could be therapy, not just a podcast, a real therapy session.
Your turn.
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts here. I will immediately say I'm brought to a conversation that I had just yesterday. And I don't know about everyone else listening, but I actually think this is super heavy for moms. So I have a group text of some fabulous ladies in this industry. And yesterday I decided intentionally to slow down. We had a very busy week. I was emotionally and physically drained. And it was hard for me to sit on the couch and hard for me to say, Dad, Tag, you're going to take the kids to the park. I need to rest. And I was literally like, I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to fold the laundry. And I was talking to my friends through this because I think part of being a mom and wired in the brain is like move, go, because you're constantly moving and trying to like say, I'm this person that can do it all and I can handle it and I can volunteer and I can have a good book of business. And so you're scared of imposter syndrome. And I think you saying overworking, keeping yourself busy, that's where I'm going with this. I will also share a very good conversation that I had in January. So in January, we were in Vegas, went to a great dinner event with Sam Cates, a lot of people on my team. And on the bus ride home, I was sharing that I was nervous about doing a panel on supplier diversity the next day for PPAI. And I was like kind of freaking out about it. And I was in the bus with a couple of my best friends. And Sam Cates said, like, without even blinking, like, what's imposter syndrome? And Stephen Musgrave said, the fact that you even just said that is just so indicative of you and your personality. And I was like, that's so freaking cool that you don't even know where we're going with this. And so I shared very vulnerable. I was nervous for this talk. I was nervous I would do well if I was good enough with everybody else on the panel. And I think I just really leaned into friends and colleagues who said they'd come, and they were there 5 minutes before I got on the stage. And I looked at them and did some breaths and was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And they were like, you are here. You got this. I'll make eye contact with you. And then I finished and I was like, of course, like that was great. And I'm a confident person and I can do this. And I think for me, no, I just really have to like put it out there. I am feeling vulnerable. I'm feeling not good enough. Why am I the expert on supply diversity, on prospecting? Why are you listening to this right now? And so I just have to remember, I know a lot about this. I have a lot of value to share. If one person gets one thing out of this, then no, it's not. I'm not an imposter. I'm doing it. I'm doing the work. I'm a seasoned vet. I'm not 1 year into this industry or sales. So I think you have to just lean into your community, to your team, to your friends, to your village, to your tribe, and then aside from that, remind yourself there's a reason I'm here. There's a reason I'm doing the work. The reason I'm being asked to
Yep.
speak at conferences. I know you just gave a great keynote and now you're a keynote speaker. And just reminding you of those
Thank
moments
you. Yeah, you're
will
right.
help you get through the imposter syndrome.
I love that. You also like brought to, I was thinking as you were saying that, doubting your own experience. That is absolutely kind of like, I've done that, right? Before I think on stage, I do. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know about this. I don't know enough about this, even though I know that I have an extensive knowledge, right? But same thing, doubting your experience or expertise. Yeah. Hmm.
So, how does this translate to prospecting for everyone that's listening? I know for me, I come off as a very overly confident person, and I actually have a joke that I am most of the time hanging by a thread. So I do. I come off confident, maybe overly confident, a little cocky, and I need to be really intentional when I do that because if I'm pitching to a client, trying to win your business, trying to
Yep.
grow our business, or
Yep.
forge a new relationship, nobody wants to talk to the person with their head down that's looking down, not making eye contact, not speaking directly and clearly. And so I know that I need to present myself in a way that attracts people, that is,
Yeah.
almost magnetic, and knock out all the fake imposter stuff because I want to feel confident in speaking to someone. I know if someone
Yep.
is going to try to share or sell something with to me or wants to have a meeting with me, I want them to be vivacious, full of energy, you know, contagious is a great word to use. So I think you have to really try to knock out the imposter syndrome because that energy and that vivacious tenacity that you can have in confidence is super infectious. Like I know I want to work with the high five, good vibe people. What do you say about that?
No, to your point, it's like when you think about this syndrome rolling into prospecting, I think fear of rejection, that is an example of how this imposter syndrome shows up in sales. Is you're hesitating to reach out to the prospect or make calls really due to you don't feel that you're good enough to succeed almost. That's it. That's exactly how this rolls into prospecting is we avoid fear. Actually, also prospecting is a very challenging task. You and I both know it's not easy. That's another way this shows up in sales is avoiding challenges.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you just nailed it. It's really hard. And so, one of the things that's the biggest thing in prospecting is not only is there day to day rejection, there's also someone not responding. They say it takes 6 touches, maybe 8 touches, maybe 12 touches before a response. We were just talking before we start recording about someone that hasn't responded to me. And there's that every day, like, should I keep going? Should I keep going? I know I enjoy the hunt and the chase, but at the end of the day, for most people, that's really hard, that rejection, which can again lead to I'm not good enough at this. I'm not good at it. The best part of prospecting that will lead to success is doing it and showing up and putting in the work and being consistent. And I think just getting through that fear of rejection or fear of I'm not good enough, being consistent and steady. And I joke all the time, like, what's the secret to prospecting? The secret is doing it and then doing it again and then doing it again and then doing the follow up. And of course, a lot of that doesn't feel great when there's not immediate results. So remembering that it's a long game and you have to knock out the imposter syndrome and remember that it's going to take time, like anything else, to be successful.
Yeah, I think also too when we're prospecting, a lot of times I've been with companies where there might be sales contests. To hit a sales contest, you have to prospect. You have to, do something to hit the contest and close. I think comparing yourself to others is another way that this imposter syndrome probably creeps into sales and shows up in sales, is comparing yourself to others. So I think as you're prospecting, just focus on your own wins, but focus on your own losses too. What is going on in your book of business? Hey, that's great that they're having wins. Don't get distracted, clear the mechanism, and just dive back in, right? Don't compare yourself to others. So that's probably a big one too.
And I will double down on the not comparing yourself to others. I'll give a again, we had a team meeting today and there was a great share about a woman whose book was majorly down. She decided to be very intentional, go strong on LinkedIn, and she had like a record order today or yesterday. And a lot of people in chat were celebrating her and applauding her. And it's like double down. Don't just be jealous that her book of business is finally going somewhere or getting stronger. Say, hey, XYZ, what did you do? Can you share those 3 steps that you did on LinkedIn that made you feel like you were actually getting somewhere with your book of business? So instead of taking that like, oh, they're better than me, they're stronger than me, use it. What are they
Yeah,
doing? And so I know you do a great job in sharing a lot of the field training, and now lots of people are reposting their success with the program, which I'm sure is so rewarding for you. But then grab those screenshots, like distributors, suppliers. You see people posting about Jenna's shares. Grab those screenshots of people that are reposting that her program is working and say, can I get a few tips? One, should I take the program myself? Two, what's the one takeaway you had from that program?
absolutely. Leverage that. Leverage your connections around you, leverage everything around you to drive your own success. Absolutely. Leverage your supplier partners, leverage everyone around you. 100%. Oof. Minimizing your own achievements is another way that this can creep into, kind of like what you mentioned, right? You knew you were prepared to be on that panel. We all did, but at the end of the day, it's like sometimes I think sales reps kind of minimize their experience and their journey and their achievements, and they downplay their success. They have a hard time acknowledging their own efforts and their skills.
I would also say in sales, something that I see a lot as I talk to people about their books of business and growth is a lot of times when we think about growth in an account, I hear a lot of distributors say, well, they only place small orders or they don't order with me a lot or this, and this. And in this business, there's a lot of turnover in marketing. If you're doing an order and it's for, I'm making this up, $1,000, which might not feel like a lot to you, you never know where that buyer is going to go in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or who they're going to refer you into. Maybe that company's not going to always spend a lot, but you'll never know what you bring to that relationship will take you in the future. And I, again, bring up a real case study. Like, I had to bother JQ the other day for, I think, 250 croquis. I was even like, what's the less the minimum fee on this? And, she said, thank you for the order, looped in her boss. And I was like, yep, we could all retire off this one. But you know what? That was my first order with a client. And I don't know where the relationship's going to go. And so I know I appreciated how above and beyond they went with the service, 3 proofs, less than minimum fees, all of that stuff. Because this could be a relationship that could take me somewhere in this client or someone they refer to me, somewhere they move on in the future. So take all those things, and I say this all the time, celebrate all the wins. That's going to knock out the I'm not good enough really fast.
I love that you brought that up because I want to tell you exactly what my tactic was. You're my customer. I know that. You're my prospect. Why wouldn't I leverage my connection with my leader, Trina, the chief revenue officer at HPG, to help make that relationship with you stickier? Of course.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
leveraging everyone on my plate to help me grow my business and scale my relationships. I want you to trust me. I want you to trust HPG. If you have a relationship with her and me and Kate and Nick, right? We're doing our job.
Yeah,
By the way,
great
your hair
call.
is on
So
fire today. Your hair
thank
is like
you.
fire, dude, fire.
I will take it. I love a
Yeah.
hair compliment. I
Yeah.
love it.
Looking good, Joe. Looking good.
All right, let's take that one step further because actually this is a great point. Anyone listening to this was hired by someone at their company this year, last year, 20 years ago, however long you've been there, or maybe you're the leader and you started the company. Someone believed in you and either started working for you or hired you, and that person believed in you and didn't think in any way, shape, or form that you were an imposter. So the example here is Trina, right? Trina believed in Jenna, who then leveraged the relationship with me. I know I can lean on Stephen Musgrave and Mitch Freed. That's a great point. So I have told Mitch before, I used to do this with Larry all the time. can we start to say to clients, I know you placed your first order with us. Love that. Thanks for the extra touch. Where's the hand touch from senior leadership? Take that. That will super help your imposter syndrome because you know it's a leader that believes in you, sees the work you're doing, and knows their touch can even take the relationship further. And also for the client, the end user, for me to say, whoa, Trina's an email about my dinky croaky order. That's huge. I'm important. I feel good. So another step
Exactly.
to
I love
reduce
your
imposter
brain.
syndrome.
Oh,
I love the
high
love.
five. Because Trina became a part of my re-engagement tactic. Now
Yes.
Trina has the relationship, right? You now have a
Yes.
relationship with somebody else. Of course, I looped her in.
Totally.
Leverage everything on your plate.
So everyone that's listening right now, I want you to stop and make a note about 3 great experiences you've had in the last month with the client, maybe 3 not so great experiences. Did you loop in leadership to say, "Hey, I know that went sour. I'd love to get a second chance. I want to send you something and give you a personal video call, text, whatever it is to say thanks for a second chance," or "Thank you for the business. We look forward to growing with you. You don't know this, but we love working with you for XYZ reasons. You challenge us, you make us better." So stop what you're doing, take 3 people and 3 clients that you can strengthen relationships with your leadership team and the client. So again, knocking out the imposter syndrome. That client's going to go, that person is the real deal Holyfield. They have management involved in my business.
We're not playing around. We're looking to scale relationships. The only way to do that is leverage every connection around you to drive your success. I leverage Trina to help me drive relationships. Heck yeah.
Absolutely. So going back to imposter syndrome and confidence here, any tips for everyone listening about just like you're having a bad day, the emails aren't coming in, you've been making the phone calls, you just like, I should be doing something else. It's time for for me to forge a new
Yes.
path.
I'll give you my notes on kind of how to get out of it. This is kind of answers you. Please remember that you're on your own journey. We're all on our own journey. Okay. Don't compare yourself to other people. I made that note. Definitely instead of fixating on other people's successes, this is, I remind myself of this, concentrate on your own progress. Concentrate on your own progress. Sorry, I get really into it. Okay. The other one too is don't avoid challenges, embrace them. You have to fail so you can learn. You already know that. Everyone knows that. I'm just reminding you, okay? Focus on the lessons that you can get from all your failures and all the bad stuff. Don't avoid stuff. Dive into it. And then lastly, celebrate all your small wins. When you're celebrating all your small wins, you're getting in the habit of recognizing yourself, recognizing your efforts and acknowledging your wins. And then you have a more higher likelihood of building upon those. That's all I
Awesome.
got.
Good stuff. And like you are talking, and so much of this again translates to sales, but also like personally, the way that you're feeling, the way that you look, the way that you're moving. JQ and I are always talking just about working out and the get to mentality. Remember, this can translate to sales and overall your
Yes.
day to day and movement, and all of those make you a better salesperson. I think you're the one that always says, good leaders lift. There is a lot to be said about movement and the way that you feel about accomplishments you're doing on the outside of work that make you a better, more confident person at work, for sure.
Leaders Lift, you know who gave that to me? My very dear friend, Jody at Maple Ridge. I was talking with her 2 years ago on Zoom, and she's like, "Oh, your new hashtag should be Leaders Lift because you lift weights and you lift other people." And I said, "I'm taking it. I'm running with it." So
I
that's what it
love
means
it.
to me. Yeah.
We got a few hashtags here. We got the salespeople drink water, leaders lift, my
Stay
little
alive.
genuine Tumblr. Okay. Couple more tips here for everyone listening about imposter syndrome. The other thing I would say, and again, I went back to my story in January where I did feel it before speaking on a panel, is double down and give yourself the opportunity to do more of those things that don't make you feel good. That bad tummy feeling, that sticky, icky, I can't do this feeling, double down and do more of it. So I know I am really lucky to occasionally get asked to do talks or speeches or help coach sales teams. The more that you do that, the more that you flex that muscle, the stronger it will get. So the more opportunities to say, hell no, imposter syndrome, you're not showing up today is great. And so not only that, promote it. Now, a lot of people talk to me about not being comfortable with social media, and I totally get that. But here's what happens when you get to share the work that you're doing. You'll have the lurkers, the people don't comment, the people that just see it, pass along, don't like. And the lurkers will come back to you one day and say, I saw that great speech you did about supplier diversity. I love that your industry values the work you're doing. Can I talk to you a little bit about Pride Month and what we need for Pride Month? You don't know what people are watching, so share with your clients, share on LinkedIn the work you're doing, because the lurkers are going to ask questions about it. They're going to say, you're showing up in really fun ways. You're vulnerable. You're talking about imposter syndrome. That's something I struggle with. And remember, there's so many more people that you can touch, not just the amazing people that comment and like on these things. There's people that are lurking that may come to you, see you at a networking event and say, I love that you posted that. It really resonated with me. So it's again a way to open up doors and remind people that you're not an imposter. They're not imposters. You know what you're doing, and you hope that you can get them to that level as well. Yeah?
I love it. You hit the nail on the head.
Nail head. Any closing thoughts you want to give to our community on imposter syndrome, confidence in sales, all of that fun stuff?
Oh, yeah, guys, just don't avoid challenges. Don't avoid challenges. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your own progress. Just focus on your own progress. Focus on your own progress. Yeah.
Awesome. I know I'm going to take away from this because I have shared doing these podcasts with you often. I listen to us and our advice and I like take it. I like drink the juice. So I'm like, I need to listen to myself sometimes. So I'm going to double down today. I'm going to be overly confident in 3 emails today and 2 phone calls and on a pitch and see what happens. And I really would love to hear from you listening what's working for you and what's not working and how we can help you. So you can find me LinkedIn, Johanna Gottlieb, JQ, Jenna Quaranta. Find us on LinkedIn, all the socials. We want to help you. We want to hear what you think of this webinar, this podcast. And we have more topics coming. We have about 4 or 5 left in this series that are dropping monthly. So enjoy, have a great week, go make that money, honey, and we will talk to you soon.